Hello everybody, this is Shadowbox and welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here on the Susquehanna, I already forgot how to say it, sorry Keith. Susquehanna, Susque, okay, I'm done. To Farming Simulator 19. Last time we broke ground on our own farmyard, and you can see that we're missing some equipment, and I'll get to where that is in a second. We did not sell anything, but we're missing the fertilizer and the other tractor, and that's because they're out on a job. I did a little bit more landscaping, leveled this area out here just for eventual use, and smoothed out some of like our ramp areas a little bit more. Today, we are going to get this field plowed and ready to use as an alfalfa field. And we're going to utilize Farmer Joe has got some equipment that he said we can borrow for a fee. So we're going to go over and pick that up. But before I do, Sarah got up early and she is in position with our international harvester and fertilizer spreader, and we're going to go ahead and this farmer has hired us to fertilize this field for him. So go ahead and drive that course, and I will go pick up the tractor and cultivator from Farmer Joe. Alright, here we are, coming up to Farmer Joe's farm. He said it's all pulled out and ready for us to take. Hello. Might have to go see what's going on with. Well, that's clearly the tractor we're supposed to use. Might need to see what's going on with that old Steiger. Hey, Farmer Joe, are you in, buddy? Alright guys, so just had a little chat with Farmer Joe, and he said that the Steiger over there, he's actually trying to get rid of it. It's just too big for his reduced farm. He's sold off most of the land around him, and he's looking to retire soon, so he's reducing the amount of equipment he has at his farm, and this is just too big and too expensive for him to maintain. He said it needs a lot of work done, but he is willing to sell it to us for the right price. Unfortunately, we can't afford that right price right now, so we will have to come back and maybe take him up on his offer another time. But for now, we're going to get his very generously loaned, oh, what is this? Not a Maxim. Puma and a Culti plow over to our farm. And just to show you guys really quick that I did legitimately, I am paying for these with, they're leased from the store. So yeah, don't worry, we're not getting really good equipment for free. We are paying, just saying that we got them from a fellow farmer since it's used equipment. And you know, you don't really think of the Puma as a large tractor, but it's pretty beefy. Especially with these twin wheels on it, I bet it can pull this Cultiplow no problem. It definitely has the horsepower required for it, so that's good. Let's see if we can peek at how Sarah's doing on the field. I'm going to choose to believe she's doing okay and is not stuck on something. Oh yeah, she's moving according to our oh, what's it called? Inspector mod. Alright, and here we are at our property. Now the goal is just to get as much of this grass plowed up as possible so we have a nice alfalfa field. And it's probably not going to look super pretty, but you know what? It's going to get the job done. And just so you know, in order for us to be able to create new fields, I did have to download a new mod, which is Cultivators Can Create Fields. It's available on the mod hub. I'm not sure if it's available for console or not. But yeah, we're as you can see, it works really well. It's definitely going to get our job here done faster um, than if we use something like, you know, a 3-meter plow that our little international tractors could pull. Which, if you didn't know, International Harvester is a precursor to Case IH. That's what the IH stands for in Case, is International Harvester. If you're a farming fan, I can basically guarantee that you knew that, but if you're new to Farming Simulator or don't know anything about like real farming, there you go. Fact of the day. Alright guys, here we are finishing the last little bit of creating our new field. If we look at that, Sarah is reporting that she is finished with her contracts at almost the exact same time. That's pretty convenient. Let's go ahead and get this tractor off of the field. We're not done with this tractor though, because as I was plowing this over the last hour, will be much shorter for you guys, don't worry. I usually do my time lapses at like 10 times time speed, so that might be a 10-minute time lapse for you, or maybe I'll go even faster. I guess we'll see. But anyway, as I was creating that field, I realized our dinky little 3-meter plow is, excuse me, our 3-meter seeder is not going to be quite up to the task of getting that seeded today. So first, let's go and bring Sarah home and collect the payment for the contracts that she did today. Worked very hard and made us a very nice amount of money. So definitely appreciative of that, and it's really nice just being able to use our own equipment. I do think I'm going to make that a limitation of accepting contracts from now on, is that in order to accept a contract, we must provide the equipment. No more leasing equipment. So let's get this up on the trailer, and actually in order to secure the spreader, you need to detach it, and then you can secure it with the vehicle straps mod, which is incredible. So I will see you guys in a second once I bring this equipment back home. Alright guys, here we are on the last sample. I just went ahead and cut out the soil sampling because you guys have seen that before, and it's a little bit tedious. And honestly, I started talking and didn't like the words that were coming out of my mouth because it was just a jumbled mess, because I guess I'm a little bit tired. So we're just going to cut it all out and pretend like it didn't happen. But there is our soil samples analyzed, and hopefully Sarah will be ready to get some lime on the field here shortly. We will go ahead and swap implements here. Grab the bag lifter. Oh, it's kind of in an awkward position. I highly doubt... Alright, soil samples are analyzed, which is good. There's only 30 samples, which I'm kind of surprised about. Just for simplicity's sake, we're going to go ahead and do that. Oh, I said for simplicity's sake, not comedy's sake. Thank you, dev menu. Alright, we may need to get some more lime delivered by the shop, to be honest. But in the meantime, this is how we're going to get the lime loaded. We're going to utilize this little cliff here. Oh, come on. Please cooperate, trailer. This is just a simple trailer. Alright, we're going to pull up right next to our rock face here. And that should be plenty of clearance. So, let's go over here and I'll show you how this works. We got lime bags up here, but it does remember what you put in. So even though it looks like that, it comes out looking like that, which is really cool. So, we can't take that out because there is no free space. Okay, got it. So, let's go ahead and get these 3 bags loaded, and then we should be able to load 2 more bags. And it won't be quite a full load, but it will be close enough. It would be really great if I could just reverse at all today. Anyway, as we're doing this, guys, I thought I would tell you a story. And this is not going to be a firefighter story, it's going to be an EMS story. And it is the story of the first patient that I had kind of go south on me. Um, my first job working in EMS was not for a fire department, and it was not even for a true like emergency service. It was for a private service that focused on um, like nursing home transports and like hospital transports and stuff like that. Ooh, just barely can avoid um, not going off the ledge here. There we go. Oh, come on. Please cooperate with me. I was trying to tell a story. It's like, just, there we go. This is going to be a little bit tricky. Anyway, back to the story. Yeah, it was a private EMS agency that did not have any kind of like emergency contract with it. So we did nursing home EMS is kind of the term that I've dubbed it, where we took nursing home patients who were not ambulatory, like could not walk, and we took them to their doctor's appointments and stuff on a stretcher. And we also um, transferred patients from hospitals to other facilities if they needed it. It's called interfacility transport, which is a type of EMS. So this was an interfacility transport. I had been an EMT for 3 weeks. We went out to this small city hospital where they had a patient who was on a psychiatric hold that was being transferred to a psychiatric center in the hospital, in the city that we were based out of. So we get there, and the doctor comes out to give us the report, which is a little bit unusual. Usually doctors have better things to do, so the nurses come out and give the handoff report, plus nurses get more face time with the patient. So anyway, the doctor tells us that this patient had intentionally crashed his car in an attempt to harm himself, and he was under an involuntary hold for 72 hours, which we call a pink slip because the papers used to be pink. They're not always anymore, but I digress. Shocker. So the patient's on a pink slip. He doesn't have a choice. He has to go to the psychiatric facility for at least 72 hours. And then he'll be reassessed and determined if another hold is necessary or if he can be released at that point. So we go meet the guy. He's okay. He's not uncooperative or anything. You can tell he's not very happy about the situation. He's a little bit antsy, but nothing too bad. He gets on our cot, we load him up in the ambulance, and he's kind of sweating a little bit. We hadn't even left the ambulance bay at the emergency room, and he tells me, "Hey dude, when I saw the deputy walking up to my car after the crash, I swallowed a bag of drugs." Because I didn't want to get caught with them. And I think that baggie just broke because I am feeling very strange. Those were not his exact words, I'm paraphrasing. But I was like, oh, fantastic. So I had my partner go back inside and tell the doctor what the patient had just said to me. And the doctor said he's just trying to get out of it. He's been here long enough where anything like that should have happened by now. Like, go ahead and transport him. And looking back on it with, 7 more years experience than I did at that moment, I should have refused the transport and brought the patient back in. And forced the doctor to look at this patient again, because that's something that I can do. At the time, I was just like, ooh, doctor says, gotta do what the doctor says exactly. But anyway, we start transporting, and I told my partner, like, hey, there's this small hospital between point A and point B, but it's a little bit out of the way, so do you mind taking this kind of like back way instead of just taking the highway straight to the major city? That way we go by this other hospital, just in case what this guy is saying is true. So my partner's like, yeah, we can do that. We get like halfway between first hospital and diversion hospital, and the guy just like stops breathing. Well, he doesn't stop breathing, but his breathing becomes extremely labored. And I'm thinking, oh god. I'm an EMT, 3 weeks out of school, and I'm working with another EMT as opposed to working with a paramedic. And this other EMT hasn't exactly given me a ton of confidence to know what she's doing. So this is a total sink or swim moment here. So I shouted up to my partner. I was like, he's having agonal respirations. Like, light it up and get us to our diversion hospital. So she does, and I grab a BVM, which is a bag valve mask, and I start delivering ventilations to the patient. Well, first I hit the emergency release button on the cot, so he was like kind of sitting up, and he just kind of went, whoop, just fell straight back, so his head was like almost in my lap, and I started ventilating him with the BVM. Then I took a nasopharyngeal airway, which is like it's a long tube. It's like 6 inches, maybe not quite that long. Well, depending on what size you select. But anyway, it's like between 4 and 6 inches, and kind of looped it up with the patient's own spit because I was kind of going really fast, and stuck it up his nose, so we had like at least some form of airway in, and vaguely protected. It's obviously nowhere near as good as intubation, but that's what we could do at the time. And I just continued delivering ventilations to the guy until we got to the diversion hospital. I was even able to call a report to the diversion hospital, which I wasn't entirely certain I'd be able to do given the circumstances. We got the guy to the diversion hospital alive, dropped him off there, and the doc there gave him what, looking back on it, I think was probably Narcan. The guy probably had heroin. I don't remember that for sure. I don't remember exactly what the guy said, but looking back on it, I think that's probably what it was. And he was alert and oriented by the time that we left. And he stayed at that hospital. The doctor was like, nope, I'm not going to release him back to you, which I was thankful for. I did not want the doctor to be like, okay, he's good. Go ahead, continue with what you were doing. But yeah, that was... Oh, come on. Alright, here we are pulling into Farmer Joe's yard, and man, it sure is tempting to buy that Steiger, but I meant what I said. We just can't afford it. I mean, technically we can afford it, but we don't really have any use for it right now. That's, maybe a purchase for next season. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. If you think we should get this 9330 row crop for our farm not next season, next year, so spring of year 2. Let's go ahead and let's return our true tandem to Farmer Joe, and let's see. Farmer Joe, do you have a seeder that is capable of sowing alfalfa that we could please borrow? That will fit 245 horsepower. The bigger the better, honestly. Ooh, 150 horsepower. We can easily do that. And it does do alfalfa, and it's a 12-meter working width. That would sure be nice. Let's see what else we have in here, though. I feel like Farmer Joe would have a case one. Oh, that's an air seeder, though. It's a little big for what we have. So yeah, I think that blue one is gonna be the one that Farmer Joe goes ahead and lends us. Oh, well, that's just terrific, Farmer Joe. Thank you very much for helping out, for helping us out starting farmer and everything. It's very much appreciated. So maybe once we return this, we can talk to Farmer Joe about storing that Steiger for us. I did realize we do have a more pressing purchase to make. We have weeds growing on our other fields, and we don't have a sprayer. So we are going to have to buy a sprayer and a few drums of herbicide and get that taken care of. Not sure if I'm going to do that on camera or off camera. I may actually do that once we get this cedar going on the fields. May go ahead and start doing that spraying manually. Though honestly, we can't even get this on the field yet because that lime spreader is not far enough ahead. The upside is we can use the same course as that lime spreader because they have the same working width. So, in an actuality, we can get it started. I'm just a little worried when the lime runs out and we have to refill it that our cedar will catch up and cause issues. So maybe we'll just stage our cedar until we get our first refill of lime in. That's probably a good idea. Now this cedar does not fertilize, but that's okay. We do have a good fertilizer sprayer after all, or spreader. Let's get our pallet of seeds out and start getting this loaded up. Oh, if I could not smash our seeds, that would be fantastic. Wonder how we're doing on the lime. 50%, more than 50% done with our lime capacity, but definitely not 50% done with the field. It is kind of an awkward course. It's my fault on that. I should have paid more attention. Maybe I don't want to save that course. We'll see how the cedar handles it. And it looks like we're going to have to go ahead and get another bag of seed out. Oh, I can just... Or do I just have to move this out of there? I was like, if I can just refill directly into that, that would be great, but yeah. That's not what that means. Alright, Mark, why don't you come on up to the farm, my friend? You don't need the bag lifter right now. I would like to see if... Oh, actually... Never mind. I was gonna say I would like to see if this tractor can get narrow tires, but I don't think it can because it's only the two-wheel drive, and regardless, we don't have the front hydraulic on this tractor. And I would want, when we buy the sprayer, I would like the front tank. How are we doing here? Apparently, nice and full. Yep. Just a little bit of seed left over. Alright guys, as you can see I brought the seeder back in because, as predicted, we did not beat the rain, so I don't think we're going to get any sowing done today. We do have Sarah continuing to lime the field though, which is good, so at least it will be ready to go in the morning. Hopefully the rain will stop. Also in the morning, we took delivery of this Convernland sprayer set, brand new from the shop, so I'm looking forward to using that. And two pallets, I guess, of herbicide. And we are going to get those fields sprayed next episode. We're going to get the alfalfa planted and the rest of the crop sprayed next episode. But until then, guys, I'm a Shadowbox. This has been Farming Simulator 19 on the Susquehanna Valley map. And until next day, have a good one.